What's up, Guardians? I'm Ken Odinson. Welcome to the Viking Vanguard. Today we are going to be doing a weapon review and perk review of the Extraordinary Rendition with the new perk Frenzy that came out with the Season of the Chosen. I'm going to go through some PvE clips, there was a few PvP clips at the start of the video. I'm going to do a video after this one, most likely, that's going to be using it in PvP. I'm probably going to run it with, charged with light mods, stuff like that, and just display how it works, because the Frenzy perk is not that easy to proc in PvP, but we'll get into that in a little bit later. The damage is nice, but it's not that easy to use, or to get up, I guess, would be the better way to put it. So, yeah. Alright, before we get to the gameplay, I want to go over my role a little bit real quick and talk about the gun itself. So my role, I've got chamber compensator, extended barrel. I prefer chambered because of the stability. I'm on console. I play on Xbox. Attack mag, steady rounds, Zen moment, frenzy. This was the second one I had drop, I believe. Not bad. I like it a lot so far, of course. As you can see, I have over 1,000 kills on it already in PvE. So the archetype itself, it's the same archetype as the Ikelos SMG, the Cold Front, things like that. Huckleberry, that's kind of a special case, obviously, but the issue, obviously, the biggest downside between using the Extraordinary Rendition and like the Ikelos SMG, for an example, the Extraordinary Rendition doesn't make Warmind cells, so obviously it has a big drawback compared to the Ikelos SMG in that sense. But other than that, the gun feels great, it works great, it looks amazing. I love the aesthetic of all the seasonal weapons so far for the Season of Chosen. Throw whatever shaders you want on there. It looks fantastic. Alright, so let's get to some gameplay. So, as you can see, running bottom tree Sunbreaker on my Titan for the sunspots. They're amazing in PvE. If you haven't tried them, I definitely recommend trying them out, because they're so great for like ad clearing. The damage it gives over time is amazing. Your abilities regen so fast when you're in the sunspots that you have your abilities up almost all of the time. So for PvE, it's easily my favorite subclass to play, even in PvP. Even with stasis going around, Sunbreaker is so good. It's very strong, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because I don't believe them. So I just used a little bit of Battlegrounds clips here to display how well it clears ads. It even can take out the yellow bars pretty easily once you get One for All procced. So the perk itself, One for All, it procs on in combat. You have to be in combat for 12 seconds. You have to pretty consistently be doing damage for about 12 seconds for it to proc. Once it does, it increases your reload, increases your handling, increases your damage, which all of that is amazing, obviously. The damage buff, I believe, for PvE is like 17%-ish, maybe, something like that. I didn't really test the exact numbers for PvE, because I mean, it's a damage buff in PvE. They're not using it to DPS bosses, so I didn't go into full detail on that. This gun also can roll with Rampage, which, if you get a Rampage roll and you don't end up getting a One for All roll that you like, the Rampage would be fine in PvE, even in PvP realistically. But the difference is you get bonus reload and handling as well when you're using One for All, and you can also keep it up at all times as long as you're fighting. As long as you're in combat, as long as you're doing damage, you're fighting enemies, you're killing ads, you're gonna keep it, as you can see it on the screen right now. and then it went away right as I went back into combat, or into another fight. But you can see here how well it works. It's very, very strong. It's got to be one of the most useful, well-rounded damage perks in general that has been added into the game. I'm also running Charge with Light on this build as well, because I'm using, this is my PvP gear. I don't have gear set up specifically for PvE right now, which is why I don't really ever use Warmind cells. So using this instead is not really a big deal for me personally, but just the raw potential it has to just decimate ads, it's insane. I love it. It's amazing. Easily my favorite weapon, well, my favorite seasonal weapon that was added. I can't wait for some of the other weapons to be able to get my hands on soon. So many good weapons, so many good rolls on so many of them, so many good perks, perk combinations, nostalgic weapons that were brought back this season. This season definitely went in the right direction as far as loot, in my opinion. It's something that we needed badly. There's issues with some of the drop rates people are having, of course, like the bottom dollar, but at least there's stuff there to chase. And that's one of the biggest problems we had and have had for a while. So you can see here in the PvP testing, doing 22 to the head normal, 16 to the body. Now we're going to proc Frenzy right here. It's going to take a couple seconds, obviously. It's a 12-second in combat timer. So with Frenzy procced, we're going to be doing 26 to the head and 19 to the body. So, you know, obviously that's a decent boost in damage, but it's not that easy to use. Next is the Charge with Light damage. We're going to see how it stacks with Frenzy. So, same boost basically as before with just Charge with Light. And now we're going to see Frenzy and Charge with Light does indeed stack. 32 to the head now, and 22 to the body. So obviously, as you can see, it's a good damage boost in PvP. Now that we've gone through all the other information, the damage boosts, displayed how it clears ads and how well it does it, let's talk about weapon rolls, ideal rolls. So in PvE, on console, I'm a console player, so obviously I know better about console. I don't play PC. I have never played PC, so I don't know as well. I know from just knowing the community and watching a lot of content in the years that PC, you don't really care about stability as much. On console, we do. So PvE for console, I would definitely recommend Overflow with Frenzy. We're on small bore accurized rounds and a stability masterwork. That's going to give you a good amount of stability, not going to be over the top, and completely ignore the range, because we could get steady rounds as the mag perk, but that's what we'll go with for now. You could go Rampage, like I said before. The only problem is then you get the damage buff, but you're not going to get the handling and reload buff that you get from Frenzy. For PC, it's going to be pretty similar, except instead of small bore, you can go hammer forged and you can go range masterwork and just forego the stability boost entirely. But otherwise, same perk combo. Overflow, one for all. You could get subsistence. That would be really good in PvE as well. I'm not sure if it can get feeding frenzy. I'd have to check again real quick, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. For PvP, we're looking at, for consoles, same thing as before. Small bore, accurized rounds, stability masterwork, but we're going to go Zen Moment and Frenzy. Next, for PC PvP, it's going to be pretty much the same thing, except Zen Moment instead of Overflow. That's literally the only change I had between PvP and PvE. You could, I mean, if you had overflow, you could just use that in PvP as well, just because it gives you the bonus in the mag. You don't necessarily have to get Zen Moment. I just like Zen Moment because it makes the gun feel good when you feel better and you can make sure you're hitting your shots much more consistently. All right, so that's my review of the Extraordinary Rendition. Like I said, it's an amazing gun. Great ad clearing potential for PvE, and like I said, the only downside is you can't make Warmind cells with it, which really sucks. And I'm curious how they're gonna deal with that once everything's sunset that can make Warmind cells, because I don't see them removing the mods themselves. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out what their plan is for that. Like I said, in the next few days, I'm gonna get together some PvP gameplay running the rendition, probably with the Imperial Needle with Swashbuckler, just because it's fun. You need some kind of range when you're running a sub, so might as well. But we'll get more into that in that video, and yeah. So we'll see you next time.